So now if I go into the app, I've got that recorded, I've set up my Wi-Fi. I'm going to go into the Ricoh Theta app right now. I'm just turning it on at the moment and making sure that it's all connected up. If you're using 4G, by the way, you just need to enable the software to run on this platform. So you just need to go into your mobile data and settings if you're going on 4G, but if you're on Wi-Fi, you should be fine. I'm just going to check that that's now running on my device. It's a little error that can happen, so just make sure it's activated and you should be fine. And you should have control. So you've got kind of controls at the bottom of the app here. You've got device and images, so you can see if there's any devices on the camera or any photos or videos on the camera. I'm just moving it this way. Sorry, the camera's back to front for me. And there's nothing on there at the moment, but you can view them, which is useful. You can check any images that are on there. The next thing that's really good is the shooting mode. So we just need to select the camera that we're using. Need to do. If it does ask you to register a new camera, and if it is being a pain, there are a few things you can do. You can check on the bottom for the registration code, and that's easy enough. So we're going to do that now just to put it in. So we know this one is YL, just checking it's uppercase, 00, let me check it, 243, and then the last few figures. The camera, by the way, if it's inactive, it will turn itself off, so just make sure that you're keeping an eye on it. So that's something that it can do sometimes as well. So just taking a second to connect. This is useful actually that this is being tricky, because this is us problem solving if it's an issue. There we go, and now we're into the camera, and we're in shooting mode. So now I can see around my lounge, and I can see the ceiling, I can see everything that the camera can see. So it just gives me an idea of what my shot is like, which is very useful. I've got a green screen, there we go, very messy. So you see there's lots of stuff that you can do with all of this, and you can move it around, and that's just helpful, and you can start recording. There we go, remotely, and stop. And that's just a stop and start button on your screen. And when you've done that, you can also preview your footage if you want to. You can also take a picture, and it will show you what that looks like. So take a photo. Yeah, it's a slightly different sound. Lots of squeaky sounds coming from the camera behind me. And it's that simple. That's it. And then you can move around and have a look at the photo you've taken, which is really strange because I can see myself. And that's how you do it. You can see as well the battery on the camera you've got at the top. You've got your image size, so that is actually pretty high. It's about 4K on this camera. And it tells you how much space is remaining on the camera on the device. You can also save the videos and things into your phone, but just a warning, they are 4K, so they're really big files. So if you've got another device you want to use, it might be a little bit better, a little bit easier. And that is the camera. That's it. You also get in your box of things, there's instructions as well. There's also this lead, which connects to your computer. It's just a USB lead, and you connect the bottom of the camera. Just turn it off first. We're going to make sure the lights are out. At the bottom you'll see there's a connector, and you can just connect it there, and then connect it into your computer, and that's it. There's also at the bottom, there's a little bit here, there's a little round hole you'll see, and that's for you to put the stand underneath. So if you've got a tripod to go with it, which you will have because I shall give you one, you can screw that in underneath. And the tripod as well, you can use it as a selfie stick. So if you are walking with the camera, that's great, but just practice trying to walk much slower than you normally would. Otherwise, like a slight jolt on the camera is really uncomfortable to see in VR. So this is just an introduction to Ricoh Theta camera. I hope that's useful. That's about all it does really, but it's a very cool camera to use because it's so simple. So if you are recording and you're close to the camera, just remember, be close to the lens, or you'll get that overlap, which is called parallax. And you've also got the top and bottom of the image you need to be careful of as well, to make sure there's not something too high above you, or if there is something like a table that you've got the surface on, that's okay. What we usually do is put a banner along the bottom of the project logo, Wonder VR logo, which I can send you and put in your folder as well. And that just means if there is any overlap underneath the camera, because it can't see beneath itself, which is about all that it can't see, otherwise it sees everything else, then you can just put that underneath and it doesn't interrupt the footage. Someone looks down, all they see is Wonder VR. And actually that's kind of useful because it reminds people that they are in virtual reality. And it's not real life because normally if you look down there isn't a logo on your feet, unless you have very good designer socks. But anyway, that's how the camera works. I hope that helps and that demystifies the scary thing called VR. And I hope that it's a useful introduction for you. I will make sure that you've got the footage from my phone as well on the screen, so you can play that either with the video or afterwards if you want to, just to see what I was doing with the app, so you've got both versions of what you need to do. Hope that's helpful, everyone. Bye bye.